What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great day, and thank you for tuning into a new episode of the Sports Raid. Before we get started, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of our sponsors, BLK Water. BLK Water is a fulvic mineral water with a great amount of electrolytes, antioxidants, a high pH plus level, and is all natural. It comes in amazing different flavors and has amazing health benefits. So if you want black water and amazing flavors, just go over to blkwater.com and use code BLKRAID for 20% off any purchase. Thank you guys and enjoy the episode.
Zach Ertz out wide, one-on-one.
Clement flares out to the right, caught over the middle and into the end zone. Zach Ertz for the touchdown.
This is the part about sports that we all hate. This is the no fun part, and that's watching one of your favorite players get traded from your favorite team. So those who don't know, Zach Ertz, tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, one of my favorite players over the last 8 years, has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals for cornerback Tay Gowan and a 2022 fifth-round pick. All I can say is I'm happy for Zach. He's going to get to go compete for the playoff team and have a chance to win another Super Bowl, and I hope the Cardinals do, because if the Eagles don't, I want the Cardinals to win it. I want to see Zach Ertz win one, and we all know I'm a big fan of Kyler Murray. But it still sucks. At least he got to catch a touchdown his last game as an Eagle. I'm always going to love Zach Ertz. He has been nothing but great to the Eagles. He's always been a great player, great teammate. But it is a business, and the Eagles have a younger tight end who's about as good, if not better than him at this point in his career. So they had to move on. I understand why they did it. I'm happy they got a little something for him instead of just letting him walk this offseason. And I wish him the best in Arizona. It sucks, but it's the name of the game. I will still rep Zach Ertz, and if the Eagles can't win the Super Bowl, I am hopping on the Cardinals bandwagon this year. A one-year stint as not even as a fan, but a one-year stint as temporarily cheering for the Cardinals once the Eagles get eliminated. It's not fun. I don't know what to say. Well, speaking of the Cardinals, Zach Ertz won't play for them this week, obviously, but there are games to be played this week, and one was played last night. And speaking of the Eagles they played last night, and they lost 28-22 in a game they had no business being in, literally zero business. The Bucs ran us through that game for 3 quarters. And somehow we hung in there. We fought till the very end. We were down 21 points heading into the fourth with about 17 minutes left in the game, and we ended up losing by 6. We came down, we scored a touchdown, we forced them to punt, we came down, we missed a field goal, forced them to punt again. Then they went for it on 4th down, we stopped them, came down, scored a touchdown, went for 2. By the way, people saying that was Vegas rigging it, no, it wasn't. Stop, you sound stupid. Stop being stupid. The Eagles knew that they had a hard time scoring the ball, moving the ball, period, but much less scoring a touchdown. They knew if they got a shot at getting the ball back, they did not want to leave anything up there. When you are an underdog against the defending Super Bowl champions, against Tom Brady, you want to do whatever you can to give them the least amount of chances, and going to overtime gives Brady another chance. It was smart. It was smart. Now, it ended up not working out because of this egregiously horrendous taunting call.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Let's see what
I know that's a point of emphasis, and everyone's been talking about it, but...
You're going to tell me that was his fault? You're going to tell me that was Gerard Avery's fault? I mean, he was standing there and just said a few words. It's not like... It's football. You are playing a contact sport at the highest level, getting paid millions of dollars. This is your job. And you talk a little bit to some guy, and then he bumps you with his helmet, and you get a flag? Get out of here with that. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That was such a bad call. Jalen Hurts looked rough at times. He looked okay. I mean, his numbers at the end of the day look good because he's just a decent player. I wasn't impressed last night. He made a couple of nice plays, but at the end of the day, I feel like he definitely could have done better. But we got a lot to cover today. We're going to go through the rest of this NFL week. Then I'm going to give you my MVP candidates, my top 5 MVPs candidates. Then we're going to go with college football. And then we're going to give you an NBA season preview. So let's go in with the first game up here. We got the Bears and the Packers in Soldier Field. I am taking the Packers. I don't like betting against Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. That's why I took both of them this week. I don't think... I just don't see how the Bears win it, especially down their 4th-string running back. And I know Khalil Herbert's pretty good, but you lost Tariq Cohen, David Montgomery, Damian Williams. They're just banged up with a guy who, Justin Fields, he's looked good at best, but he's also had some very, very bad moments. So I'm taking the Packers. Rams, Giants, this isn't even going to be close. It's not going to be close. The Giants are even more banged up than the Bears. And they just aren't nearly as good as the Bears or the Rams. Definitely not as the Rams. So if I'm taking the Rams pretty handily. I would say by 20 points. Minnesota, Carolina. This was a tough one. This was a tough game for me. Because I picked Carolina last week against the Eagles and they lost. And that's why I'm picking Minnesota this week. Because I think Minnesota's a better team. I do. I think the Vikings are in a good spot right now. Because they can, they're going to give Dallas a run for their money. They're going to probably lose to the Ravens. So they still have a tough schedule. But these are the types of games they're going to have to win, these 50-50 games. They know it too. And if Kirk Cousins is as good as people want to act like he is, he's going to have to prove it this week against Carolina. So I think they win pretty well, pretty handily. Not pretty handily, but I think they win. I think they have a stronghold on the game. I don't think Carolina's offense is going to be able to keep up with Minnesota. Kansas City and Washington. If the Chiefs lose this game, I will officially hop on the Chiefs should be concerned train if they lose to Washington. Washington's defense has looked nothing short of pitiful this year. Washington hasn't looked good at all. They looked okay their offense looked good against the Falcons and against the Giants. The two of the bottom teams in the NFC. Kansas City should beat them pretty handily. Kansas City, man. And technically, Kansas City's supposed to... Kansas City's going to have a rough one against the Titans. If they lose this game, they're in some trouble because they're staring down. Oh my God, if they lose this game, they're staring 3-6 in the face. Losing to Tennessee, beating the Giants, and then losing to Green Bay. They are staring it in the eyes. That's why I think they get the win this week. Give me the Chiefs. Cincinnati, Detroit. We learned last week how real Cincinnati is. Joe Burrow is playing well. Jamar Chase is the best rookie wide receiver. Might be the rookie of the year right now. Their defense is playing well. If they could have made one field goal last week, they would have beat the Packers, and they would be sitting at 4-1. I think they'll be at 4-2. I think they're in a good spot, and they're going to be a sneaky contender for a playoff spot. They've shocked a lot of people this year. Arizona and Cleveland. I'm so high on both of these teams, and Cleveland really shocked me last week. I think Arizona proves it. People are still sleeping on Arizona, even though they have who should be everybody's league leader for the MVP candidacy. Their defense has played well. They have played well. They're now going to be 6-0. Nobody is giving them the respect that they deserve. I see people ranking them out of their top 5. They're 6-0 and they beat the Rams. What do you want from them? Give me the Cardinals. Cowboys, Patriots. I think this one's going to be a nail biter, but I think Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense takes care of business. I think Trayvon Diggs has another big game as he leads his Defensive Player of the Year candidacy. But that's one of the main reasons why Dak Prescott is still not my MVP candidacy. Is going to be because of the fact that he's not even the most valuable player on his team right now. Trayvon Diggs is. My hat is messing my hair up. Hold up, give me a second. Oh my God. I hate when my hair sticks out the middle, this part of my hat. It's so bad. And it was sticking out so much. And this headset is not going on right. It is just a tough day for me. Jesus, man. But yeah, I think the Cowboys take care of him pretty handily. And that's, back to the Dak Prescott thing. It's hard to be the most valuable player when there's somebody who's outperforming you on your team. and Trayvon Diggs is outperforming him. Now, it's hard also for a defensive player to win MVP, league MVP, especially when they're... I mean, he's... Part of him is playing like the best defensive player in the league. Part of him's not. Because he does lead the league in penalty yards. He does lead the league in QBR when thrown at. But he also leads the league in interceptions and pass deflections. So I still think Cowboys win. But yeah, it's going to be hard for Prescott to win MVP. Seattle and Pittsburgh. Oh, this is a coin flip game. I'm going to take... I'm taking Seattle. Seattle has looked at their best, has looked better than the Steelers at their best. Because the Seattle... Seattle against the Colts and against the Rams and against the 49ers has looked very, very, very good. I think Geno Smith gets the job done. I think Geno Smith is better than Ben Roethlisberger at this point. I think Ben Roethlisberger should retire like tomorrow. He made a few nice throws in that Broncos game, but he didn't look amazing. I'm still taking the Seahawks. So far, through my AFC versus AFC and NFC picks, I have every single away team winning so far. And that continues with the game in London, because technically the away team's the Dolphins, and I'm taking the Dolphins over the Jaguars. Until the Jaguars figure out this Urban Meyer situation, it's going to be hard for me to pick them unless they would win a game. It's going to be hard for me. I think the Dolphins know that their back's against the wall. They know that their playoff hopes are literally hanging on by a thread, and they know they can't start off the year 1-5 with a loss to the Jags. They've had a tough schedule. They've had a tough go at it. I think they take care of business this week. They get back on the right track, and they beat the Jaguars. Texans and Colts. If the Texans play like they did last week, they will win this game. I don't think they do, though. I think the Colts are the best 1-4 team ever. I mean, they've played so many good teams, and it doesn't stop for them either. But this is the NFL, man. It's how it works. Give me the Colts. LA Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not going to spoil what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to say it. But, no, I'm going to say 2 of the new MVP candidates that I did not expect to get up there that quickly. But like I said last week, it's going to take an insane week, and last week was insane. So that flipped things around. But Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, this is going to be a good one. This is for the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I'm taking, just because they're at home and I'm going home field advantage, give me the Ravens. But if the Chargers win this game, I would not be surprised. I would not. If I'm betting, keep me away. I am staying away from that. Last 2 games of the week, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. I was going to pick the Raiders, but because of their new coach coming in, all the distractions this week, that has a big impact on your play. I'm taking the Broncos. The Broncos are hanging in there, man. They've had 2 bad losses, 2 games that they needed to get at least one of those, and they didn't. I'm taking them over the Raiders. Final game of the week, Monday Night Football, Titans and Bills. The Bills are too good. The Bills are too good. I think the Bills are the second best team in the NFL behind the Cardinals. Well, I would power rank them number 2 right now. I mean, because they're 5-1. I'm not putting the only undefeated team left below them. But the Bills are just playing too good. They took care of Mahomes last week. They made Mahomes look not the best quarterback in the world last week. And that's why I think they're just going to continue dominating. I mean, anybody who watched that game last week and saw what they did to Mahomes and how they made him look and how they pressured him and the throws they made him make, it was bad. And that's why Mahomes has fallen out of my MVP candidate list. And speaking of that, why don't I tell you my top 5 MVP candidates? Starting off with number 5. Give me Justin Herbert. Herbert's done well. I think last week was a big factor in this decision just because I mean, he's fourth in the league in yards, third in the league in touchdowns, and he's only thrown 3 interceptions. His quarterback rating is very, very good. It's through the roof. They've looked good. He's looked good. His teams look good. I don't expect him to slow up. I think that the way he played against the Chiefs was a real. I didn't see him consistently putting that up, and he has consistently done that week after week. He had to play. He won a shootout game, putting up 47 points against the Browns defense. That's not easy. That is not easy. And number 4, I'm going with Matthew Stafford. He slid off a little bit just because the defense has played better than the offense out of the last few weeks. But he's still 3rd in the league in yards. I think he's going to end up being 2nd after this week. He's top 10. He's top 5 in touchdowns. He has the second best quarterback rating in the entire National Football League, and he's leading a top 5 team in the league. Yeah, but he's thrown a decent amount. His completion percentage is a little low, so that's kind of like where and his touchdown to interception rate is a little bit higher than some other quarterbacks. So I'm not gonna. That's why he's at 4, and he's dropped a little bit. But number 3, after his performance on Monday Night Football and that comeback, I'm taking Lamar Jackson. Not only is he top 5 in passing, but he's top 10 in rushing. He has 10 touchdowns on the year to 4 turnovers. I mean, but somebody that's that valuable on their offense and pulls off a comeback like he did last week. They're 4-1. They've won a couple of games that people didn't expect them to win, and they had to make a comeback. They faced adversity. They faced the highs. They faced the lows. He beat the Chiefs. He's beaten he's beaten the number 1 defense in the league at the time in the Broncos. He came back down to 19 in the 4th against the Colts, and he should have beaten. They very well should be 5-0 heading into this week, but they dropped that game against the Raiders. I mean, that fumble. That fumble against the Raiders was the main reason why I kept him out of it, but he's made up for it. Number 2, the ageless wonder, Thomas Brady. Number 1 in the league in passing yards. Number 1 in the league in touchdowns. It's just he has too many weapons. Jesus, had it bad. Oh my God. There we go. All right. He has too many weapons He has so many weapons that it's hard to think that if you threw other quarterbacks in this same situation that they wouldn't play just as well as him. But at the same time, you lead the league in touchdowns or in passing yards and touchdowns, you're gonna have to be top 2. And the only reason that Kyler Murray who's number 1 is ahead of you is because his team's 6-0 and he's the captain of that team and he's led the way for that. But I mean, his spot is slowly slipping away, Kyler. So, but I think Kyler's gonna have a big week this week as they take care of the Browns. I'm not going to sit here and act like just because they're 6-0 that I think that they should be the one in everything, but when you're the only undefeated team and you went into LA and beat the Rams, it's hard to not give you the credit you deserve, and people aren't. So, Kyler Murray right now is the MVP right now in my book, and the Cardinals are clear-cut best team in football. Now, could that change coming into next week? Absolutely. But we have to see, because as we learned on Saturday with the Penn State Iowa game, the best team doesn't always win, and that is a great way to go into college football, as we have another big week in college football coming up. I cannot wait. I am so excited for this, as it starts tonight with Clemson and Syracuse, as we give you the Big 8. The 8 biggest games of the week. I went 6-2 last week, and this week I am hoping to do a little bit better. And we'll start out with that game tonight between Syracuse and Clemson, and I'm taking Clemson to win I think Clemson is a lot better than they've played, a lot better than they've been playing, and I think they show that tonight as they take care of business against the Orange. Next game up on the list, we got at 3:30, number 19 BYU travels to unranked Baylor. Give me the Baylor Bears. BYU's going to drop 2 in a row and fall out of the top 25. Baylor's looked good other than against Oklahoma State this year, but man, I think BYU's a little overrated, and I think Baylor's a better team, and that's why I'm taking the Baylor Bears. Number 3 on our list, we got the now number 5 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide heads to Mississippi State, unranked. I've thought about it, but I don't see Bama dropping 2 in a row. Give me the Tide. I think they go out and they put on a show in the first half. I think it's going to be pretty ugly. Next up, we have number 17 Arkansas versus unranked Auburn, and I'm taking unranked Auburn. That is my upset of the week. I think that Auburn is better than Arkansas. I think their 2 losses are to Georgia and Penn State, and the fact that you're not ranking them is a sham. Give me the Auburn Tigers. Speaking of Georgia, we got the undefeated matchup, the game of the week, number 11, the Kentucky Wildcats versus the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. And this is the biggest upset of the week. Will Levis leads the way as Kentucky is going to take down Georgia this week. Call it, write it in, place your bets. It's happening, baby. Will Levis is going to just take down that Georgia defense, and they're going to win this game 28-23. Mark my words. If you're watching this, please win this game, Kentucky, because I'm talking a lot right now. You better win. And they will win. The last 2 games, we have number 20, the Florida Gators, head to Death Valley to take on the unranked 3-3 LSU Tigers. I think Florida beats them pretty bad. I think Ed Orgeron's getting fired soon. It's like I'm soon going to fire my hair if it doesn't stop popping out of the hat. Bad hair day, guys. Bad hair day. But I think Coach O just, go Tigers. Yeah, no. Bye, Tigers. Yeah, that's what we're going to be hearing out of you, Coach O. We got one last game left, and we have a sneaky good ACC matchup. We have number 22 North Carolina State taking on unranked Boston College, both 4-1. Both are going to be sneaky contenders to win that ACC. Give me NC State. I think NC State gets the job done. I think NC State's a lot better than people are giving them credit for. I think that they are better than Clemson. I don't think people want to talk about it, though. But, yeah. Oh, well, we're going to make this 9 just because I can make calls here because I'm a big guy on campus. I'm taking the last game I want to talk about is a ranked matchup between number 12 Oklahoma State Cowboys versus the number 25 Texas Longhorns. I took Texas last week and it bit me in the butt. They're favored. Give me Oklahoma State. The way they looked in that second half was bad. They looked horrendous. You were up 18 points, and you put up 38 in the first half. You only put up 7 in the second? Come on, Texas. At your own state fair? Really? Really? That's how we want to be now? Give me Oklahoma State. We have a great week of college football coming up. But you know what else starts up soon? The NBA. And before I get to that, let's hear a little bit from one of our sponsors. What's up, guys? I hope you all are enjoying this episode of The Sports Rate. I just want to take a little break to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, OtterBot. If you want to automate your trading, OtterBot has the customer solution for all traders. It is a robot that does the trading for you. They have different levels and different types of OtterBot, and they just released their new beta, the OtterBot ES. If you want to go give it a try, go to otterbot.com and use the code RAID for 10% off any purchase. Thank you guys, and back to the episode. Oh baby, I am feeling good. Basketball is back, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my preseason predictions. I'm going to rank everybody 1 through 15 in each conference and tell you who's going to meet in the NBA Finals. Let's start off with the West. I'm going number 1. Give me the Los Angeles Lakers with their new 360 trio. Man, this Laker team looks scary. They've looked scary because not only do you have Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, but you have Carmelo Anthony, and you surround him with a bunch of 3 and D players. Oh my God. I'll get to the Lakers a little bit more later, but they look good. Number 2, I'm going the Los Angeles Clippers. I think they're the clear-cut best team in the West. It's hard to pick against a team that's clear-cut the second best team in the conference. I mean, preseason-wise, give me the Clippers. At number 3, I'm going the Utah Jazz, because the Jazz always find a way to find themselves in the mix for a top playoff spot, and I think they continue that. Give me the Jazz. I think with the mixture of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert is one of the sneakiest duos in all of basketball. Give me the Jazz. The number 4 seed is going to be the Phoenix Suns. I think the Suns are going to take a step back this year. I think things aren't going to go their way as much, but I still think the Suns are very talented and very good. But I think I think those 3 teams are better than them. I genuinely do. So give me the Suns as the 4 seed. I think they blew their shot to win a title anytime soon last year. And it sucks because I wouldn't have mind seeing it win. I'm happy Giannis won, though. At the number 5 seed, this is going to be good. This would be a good playoff series between the number 4 Suns and the number 5 Golden State Warriors. They're getting their big 3 back that they dominated the league for 4 or 5 years. They dominated the NBA for that with that trio for 4 or 5 years. I know they had KD for 3 of them. It would have been 5 years, yeah. But 3 NBA titles in 5 years. Best record, regular season record of all time. It's hard to think that trio. I don't think they're going to be up there because I think that there's better trios now. I think Klay Thompson's not going to be the same after going off of an ACL and an Achilles tear. But I definitely think that trio of Steph, Draymond, and Klay is going to be scary. The number 6, I'm going the Denver Nuggets. They get Jamal Murray back. But I think the Nuggets, they're just not as talented compared to the other teams. It's hard. It's going to be hard for them. I just don't see their talent level matching up to the same as the Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Jazz. I mean, but they're still going to be good. The West is loaded. The West is deep. The West is deep, deep. Even the number 7 seed, who I'm going to have as the Dallas Mavericks, heading into the play-in tournament as the 7 seed, I think even the Mavericks, man, they're good. I mean, they have a top 5, 10 player in the world in Luka Doncic. They still have Kristaps Porzingis, who we've seen how good he can be. Oh, man, the Mavericks are going to be good. The thing is, as good as the Mavericks are going to be, they're only going to be the 7. Number 8, I have the Portland Trail Blazers because they have a top 5 point guard in the league. And I don't think Damian Lillard is going to let this team ever miss the playoffs. I don't think he will. I don't think they're going to be very great. They'll be good, but they won't be that good. I think they're going to end up being the 8. Number 9, always find a way to be in that mix. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't see them getting much better than last year. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are going to have to play a little bit better, but I think they're going to be just as good as last year. And they weren't horrible last year. Like, can't be I'm disappointed in it, but when it's happening the same way over and over again, you can be a little bit disappointed. The number 10 seed is where I struggle. I was down between 3 teams: the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, and the Kings. And I ultimately ended up deciding on the Pelicans just because I think the stars of the Pelicans are a little bit better than the stars of the Timberwolves. And the Kings, I feel like, are kind of a thin team. So I think the Pelicans will find a way to sneak into the number 10 seed and get into that play-in tournament and get smacked around by the Grizzlies. But either way, they're going to find a way in. The Pelicans, I mean, it depends on when Zion comes back too. It's a long season. Zion also, he looks like he's not as he's getting a little thick. Like, he's getting a little chubby. I know he's always a bigger guy, but he's not as defined as he used to be. Number 11, I went with the Timberwolves. I think that the Timberwolves are finally going to start to mesh together, finally put all those pieces together. I think they're just going to miss out on that play-in tournament, though. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them get in. I mean, good for them if they do. The number 12, I have the Sacramento Kings. The Kings are going to get some surprise wins this year. They're also going to get beat by some teams they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, I just think there's too many teams that are better than them for them to get into the playoffs. At the number 13 spot, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just because out of these three bottom teams, they're the only team I think who has a potential all-star. And they also have Josh Giddey, and we love Josh Giddey around here. At number 14, we have the San Antonio. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty with the camera. But what I was saying is the Spurs, Greg Popovich has too much pride to come in last. So I think that they're going to go ahead of the Rockets. But that's about it with the West. Except my Western Conference final matchup, I have the Golden... No, I don't have the Golden State Warriors. I have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Los Angeles Clippers. I think we finally get that battle of LA we all wanted to see. Lakers didn't get there last year. Clippers didn't get there the year before. This is the year we see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard take on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I am taking the battle of LA. Now it's time for the East. The one, even without Kyrie Irving. I'm taking the Nets. I mean, James Harden and Kevin Durant probably are the two best players to be teammate. Like, two single-handedly top two players that a team has. Right. They're going to be just as good as they were last year. And if they get Kyrie back, they're going to be scary. Getting that trio for a full season, not even going to be a full season. Kyrie's not even starting the season, but if they get that trio healthy for the playoffs, they're going to be tough to beat. At number 2, I have the defending NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. They have the third best player in basketball. The second best player in the Eastern Conference. Sounds like they fit as the 2 seed for me. I don't think there's another team other than the Nets that you can really make an argument to be better than them. And at number 3, with the return of Ben Simmons, give me the Philadelphia 76ers. Listen, the Sixers were the third best team in the conference last year. They didn't really get worse. Give me the Sixers. I think that there's been a lot of moves made, but I think that the Sixers have the best center in basketball, one of the best centers in all of the NBA with Ben Simmons, and now that he's going to play, and he's got something to prove, doesn't he? Give me the Sixers as the 3. At number 4, I have the Miami Heat. I think Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo is a new trio that's going to scare a lot of teams. But I think it's going to take a bit for them to mesh. And we saw how bad the Heat can be last year to start that season. I think a lot of it depends on how well Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson play. They're going to be my 4 seed. At number 5, I had the Chicago Bulls. I think that this this is such a unique team with Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. I think a lot of people think that this team can be decent, but I think this team's going to be good. I think they're going to be very good. At number 6, I have the New York Knicks. The Knicks were pretty good last year. I think the Knicks got a little bit better. I think Evan Fournier is huge for the Knicks. I think it's going to be the Knicks and the number 7 seeded Hawks, who are going to compete for that last spot outside of the play-in tournament. I think the Knicks get the upper hand this time. Give me the Knicks. At number 7, the Hawks. Now, 4 through 7 I think can go any way. 1 through 3 I think there's a chance it can go any way. 4 through 7 can go any way. I think 8 through, I think it was 11 or 12. Through 11 can go any way. I'm taking the Hawks as 7, though. I think that Trae Young's an emerging star. I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. I think it's going to mainly be him and Joel Embiid. At number 8, give me the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics are kind of realizing that their time is... They're going to have to do something, man. Because Gordon Hayward didn't work out. Kemba Walker didn't work out. Kyrie Irving didn't work out. They should have never got rid of Isaiah Thomas, and they're now cursed. They're going to be cursed because they got rid of Isaiah Thomas. Give me the Boston Celtics as my 8th seed. My number 9 seed, I'm going the Charlotte Hornets. Oh, it's going to suck to not see the Hornets find a way out of the play-in tournament again. But they're going to be sitting right there on the edge, and they're just going to miss it again. It's going to suck. I think they're going to win the first one. I think they'll lose the second one to the Celtics. At number 10, I have the Indiana Pacers. I was debating between the Pacers or the Wizards, but I ended up going with the Pacers just because I like Sabonis better than Kuzma. I like Brogdon. I don't like him better than Bradley Beal, but I don't know if Bradley Beal's there by the end of the year. So it's hard for me to want to pick a team that I don't even know if your best player is going to still be there by the end of the season. At number 11, I'm taking the Wizards. I think the Wizards have a nice little basis for team building forward. I think they'll be a playoff team next year, but I just think the East top to bottom. I mean, both of the conferences, honestly, have 10, 11, 12 teams that are going to make some noise. There's only like 3 or 4 teams in each conference that are going to be downright bad. At number 12, this is starting to get interesting. I took the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the only issue with the Cavs is they have so many bigs. So many big men. That it is hard for me to think that they could get something done. So, I'm taking the Cavs. Number 13, I'm going to go with the Detroit Pistons. I think the Pistons get out of the gutter this year. I think with the addition of Cade Cunningham, I think Cade Cunningham's going to win Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be the Pacers. Or not the Pacers, the Pistons, sorry. I think that they get a little groove going towards the end of the season, but I don't think it's enough. At number 14, I have the Toronto Raptors. I think the Raptors now have to learn life without a superstar, without Kyle Lowry, without Kawhi Leonard, without DeMar DeRozan. It's not going to be fun for them, but that's what needs to be done for them. And coming in last is the Orlando Magic, who I think is not only going to be last, but be the last in the entire NBA. They're the worst team in basketball. I think that we will see a Bucks Nets Eastern Conference Final with the Nets coming out. We have the Lakers, Clippers, or Nets, Bucks. Who's going to be in the finals? I'm taking the Lakers in 7, and I'm taking the Nets in 7 to meet in the NBA Finals, and I'm taking the Los Angeles Lakers to take care of the Nets in 7 games and win the NBA title this year. LeBron James gets his 5th ring. It's going to be a great year. Let's get to my awards, my preseason award predictions. League MVP, Joel Embiid. Should have won it last year, didn't. Oh well, gets it done this year. The next award I'm going to go with is Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Simmons. I may be a little biased, but I think Ben Simmons comes out, should have won that last year, didn't. Does this year, gets the job done, proves everybody wrong in Philly. Let's go, Ben. Rookie of the Year, Jaden Sprint. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with Cade Cunningham. I already said it. Cade Cunningham is an absolute beast, and I think he's going to be the best player out of his draft class, other than Josh Giddey. I'm just kidding. Most improved player. I want to say Ben Simmons. But most improved player, I was thinking somebody along the lines of, I was debating between Malik Monk and Patrick Robinson. I don't know why those guys stuck in my head. Patrick Robinson, the power forward for the Bulls. I'm going to go with Patrick Robinson. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling about him. It's hard to kind of predict most improved player, but that's what I would do. And the Coach of the Year. I'm going Frank Vogel. I think they're going to win the NBA title. I mean, it's kind of hard again to pick Coach of the Year. It usually is a team that was not great the year before that's good now. I'm just going to go with Frank Vogel because I think the Lakers are going to win the title. Well, and that's going to wrap it up for my NBA preview. and wrap it up for this podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Zach Ertz, for everything you've done for the Eagles. Sorry, a little burp there. This was episode 7 of the Sports Rate. We'll be back on Wednesday for episode 8. Thank you guys once again, whether you're listening on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube. And make sure you either get your BLK water or you sign up for OtterBot. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.